We'll go to Senator Rennick.
Hi guys. My question is to Mr Duggan. You just said to Senator Hughes before that renewables are cheaper. Have you got models for that? Have you got costings for that right through to 2030?
So Senator, you'll be aware that AEMO and the CSIRO do a report called the GenCost report, where they look at the levelised cost of different forms of technology for producing electricity. And in the context of that report, which they've been undertaking since 2018, they've consistently found that in Australia's context, with our abundance of renewable energy options, that variable renewable energy is a cheaper source of energy than
Are you aware that they didn't take the cost of recycling into that GenCost report?
Senator, I'm aware that every year that they produce that report, they open up and ask for feedback on methodology and approach, because they're always...
I haven't got a lot of time. Are you aware that they don't take into account the cost of recycling in that report, and that the head of the CSIRO has formally told me in estimates that it costs 3 times the amount to recycle a lithium battery than the cost of the metals that go into it? Are you aware of that, yes or no?
So, Senator, I wasn't aware of that specific fact. No, I wasn't. But it sounds like you're well briefed from the head of CSIRO.
And are you also aware that they assume that the life of a coal mine is 30 years, a coal-powered station is 30 years, not 50 years? So they use the life of the loan, not the actual life of the power station. So there's some serious flaws in that, and there's also been flaws in their nuclear costing with that as well. So I think you should qualify before you just say renewables are cheaper. And I'll also note last time I spoke with CSIRO that their costings to go to 100% renewables has fluctuated from $1 trillion to $500 billion. That's 100% margin of error. So yet again, could you please qualify any time you say renewables are cheaper with what you're backing that up with?
Senator, can I have the opportunity?
Senator, can I just say on that? So, in fairness, when you asked Mr Duggan to clarify, he sourced the source of his evidence at the GenCost report, so that's entirely appropriate. And to be fair, I mean, you and I've seen you in my old portfolio raising these questions, and I know that you have raised issues around the GenCost and the assumption. It's perfectly legitimate. But at the end of the day, Mr Duggan was giving evidence sourced on the basis of the GenCost report. That's accurate evidence.
No, there's assumptions. I question those assumptions.
The fact that there are differing views about the assumptions that underlie the GenCost report...
Well, it's not a view, it's a fact. If they don't take into account the cost of recycling, that's a fact. That's not an assumption or anything. That's a fact. They don't take into account the cost of recycling. And if we're here to protect the environment, we need to recycle these renewables at the end of their life. Do you not agree with that?
So, Senator, my point is you've raised issues that you have with the assumptions that underlie the GenCost report. That's legitimate. At the end of the day, it is legitimate for Mr Duggan to give evidence which reflects the outcomes of the GenCost report.
That's fine, and that's commentary, so we'll keep moving on. I note that we've got spent...
There's a difference between wrong and a difference of opinion. I think the point being that the GenCost report, which you have issue with, totally fine, does actually lay out quite clearly its assumptions, so there's no smoke and mirrors in there.
Except that he never qualified where he says renewables are cheaper in the first place. So if you're going to say renewables are cheaper based on the CSI report that has the following assumptions, that's how you actually report this stuff. I come from finance industry where we do this sort of stuff all the time.
Senator, I can add to my evidence.
I'll move on to the next question. Thank you.
I'll give you the time to do it, but Mr Duggan, if you could please further qualify.
Authorised G. Rennick, LNP Chermside.